Samir sat alone in his huge mansion. The house was silent, except for the soft sound of his tears falling. He looked at a small, framed photo on the table, a picture of his son, Armin. The boy's smile in the photo was bright, but Samir's heart was dark and heavy. No one came to comfort him anymore. His friends and family had left, believing the worst. They all thought Armin was dead. The doctors said so, the police said so. But Samir could not believe it. How could his son be gone forever? Every night Samir dreamed of Armin coming back to him, but every morning he woke up alone. Outside the mansion, the wind blew cold. The sky was gray and heavy with rain. The garden was full of flowers Armin loved, but they looked pale without his laughter. Samir's servants quietly moved around, trying not to disturb him. He had everything, money, power, and respect, but none of it mattered now. His heart was broken and the mansion felt empty. Suddenly the heavy front gate creaked open. A small figure appeared in the rain, a poor girl named Mira. Her clothes were wet and torn, but her eyes were full of fire. She held something tightly in her hand. Mira had traveled far through the cold and dark to reach this place. She walked slowly toward the mansion, her steps hesitant but determined. She knew Samir was inside, crying for his lost son. And she carried a secret, one that could change everything. Inside, Samir heard the gate and looked up. His eyes were red and swollen from crying, but when he saw Mira, he was surprised. Who was this poor girl? Why had she come here? Mira stood in front of Samir and spoke softly. "Sir, I know you think your son is dead, but I saw him. He is alive." Samir stared at her, unable to speak. He wanted to believe her, but the pain was too strong. How can that be true? Everyone says he is gone. Mira looked into his eyes and said, "I was near the river when I saw a boy. He looked just like your son. He was scared and hiding. I followed him, but he ran away. I came here to tell you, sir, you must find him." Samir's heart beat fast. Could this be real? Was his son really alive? But his mind fought back. Maybe it was just a dream or a trick. People often lied to give false hope. He looked at Mira and asked, "Why should I trust you? You are just a poor girl. How do you know anything about my son?" Mira's voice was steady. "Because I saw him with my own eyes. I don't want money or help. I only want you to know the truth." Samir's mind was full of questions. Who was this girl? How did she know so much? Was she telling the truth or was it a cruel joke? He stood up slowly and walked to the window. Outside, the rain fell harder. The garden was dark and empty, just like his heart. "Tell me everything you know," Samir said finally. Mira nodded and took a deep breath. She began to tell a story about a boy running from danger, hiding in the shadows and fighting to survive. She spoke of secret meetings by the riverbank, strange men watching the village, and a mysterious plan to keep Armin away from his family. Samir listened carefully, every word sinking into his soul. His hope grew with every sentence, but so did his fear. "What kind of danger?" Samir asked. "Who wants to keep my son away?" Mira hesitated. "I don't know their names, but they are powerful people. They want something from your family, and your son is caught in the middle." Samir's hands trembled. He looked at Mira and asked, "Why didn't you tell anyone before?" She looked down. "I was afraid. People don't listen to a poor girl like me. But now I see you believe me. We have to act fast before it is too late." Samir's eyes filled with tears again. He felt a strange mix of pain and hope. Hope that his son was still alive, and pain from the dangers that threatened him. He took Mira's hand and said, "Thank you for coming. I don't know what will happen, but I promise I will find my son." Mira smiled faintly, her eyes shining. "I will help you, sir. Together we can find him." Outside, the rain started to slow down. The dark clouds began to break, letting a small ray of light fall on the mansion's garden. Samir looked outside and whispered, "Maybe this is a new beginning." Samir could not sleep that night. His mind was full of thoughts about Mira's words. Could Armin really be alive? He looked at the photo on his bedside table and whispered, "My son, where are you?" Morning came slowly, with soft sunlight through the curtains. Samir was still lost in his thoughts when Mira returned to the mansion. This time she held something in her hand, an old folded letter. "Sir," Mira said quietly, "I found this near the river where I saw your son. I think it is from him." Samir took the letter carefully. The paper was old and torn, but the handwriting was clear. It was Armin's. His hands trembled as he opened the letter. The first lines made his heart beat faster. "Father, if you are reading this, please don't be sad. I had to leave to keep you safe. There are people who want to harm our family. I promise I am alive and will return one day. Please trust me." Samir's eyes filled with tears. The letter was real. His son was alive, but hiding. Mira watched him quietly. "There is more," she said. "The letter talks about a place called Riverbend. I think that's where Armin is hiding." Samir remembered the river near their village, a peaceful place where he and Armin used to fish. Could his son be hiding there now? His heart was torn. Hope filled his chest, but fear was never far behind. What dangers waited at Riverbend? Who wanted to harm Armin? He looked at Mira. "Thank you for bringing this letter. It changes everything. But how can we be sure it is really from my son?" Mira looked serious. "I asked around the village. Some people saw a boy matching Armin's description near the river. He seemed scared and tired. No one knows why he is hiding." Samir nodded slowly. "Then we must go to Riverbend. I have to see for myself." Mira's eyes shone with determination. "I will come with you. I want to help." As Samir prepared for the journey, memories of Armin flooded his mind. He remembered the boy's laughter, his curious eyes, and the promise to protect him no matter what. Outside the mansion, the sky was clear. The rain had stopped, but the air was still cool. The garden looked alive again, as if the hope of finding Armin had brought it back to life. Samir and Mira left the mansion quietly. They traveled together, talking little but feeling the weight of the mission ahead. The road to Riverbend was long and rough. They passed small villages and dark forests. Sometimes Samir looked behind them, worried that someone was following. Finally, after hours of travel, they reached the river. The water flowed gently, reflecting the golden light of the afternoon sun. Samir's heart raced as they walked along the riverbank. He called softly, "Armin, are you here?" No answer came. Only the wind whispered through the trees. Suddenly, Mira stopped. "Look," she said, pointing to a small shelter hidden behind the bushes. Samir approached slowly. The shelter looked old and worn. It was a small wooden hut, the perfect hiding place. He knocked gently on the door. "Armin, it's me, your father." Inside, footsteps moved quickly. The door opened slowly, and a young man stood there, tired, thin, but with the same bright eyes Samir remembered. "Father," Armin whispered, his voice shaking. Samir felt tears burn in his eyes. He reached out and held his son tightly. "My boy, you're alive. I never stopped looking for you." Armin looked away, scared and confused. "I had to leave, father. They were after me. I couldn't tell you." Samir nodded, understanding the fear in his son's eyes. "We will face this together now. No more hiding." But just as hope filled the moment, a shadow moved behind the trees. A cold voice called, "Out! You should not have come here." Samir stepped in front of Armin, ready to protect his son from the danger that followed. Samir's heart raced as he stood in front of Armin, ready to protect him. The stranger's voice came again, cold and strong. "You should not have come here." From the shadows, a tall man stepped forward. His face was hidden by the dark hood of his coat. He looked serious and dangerous. "Who are you?" Samir asked, his voice firm but calm. He didn't want to scare Armin more, but he needed answers. The stranger looked at Armin and said, "You don't know what you are doing, boy. The people chasing you are very powerful. Your family's business is not safe anymore." Armin swallowed hard and stepped back behind his father. "I didn't want to leave. I was scared, but I had no choice." Samir's eyes narrowed. "Why are they after you? What did Armin do?" The stranger shook his head slowly. "It's not what he did. but what he knows. There are secrets in your family's company. Secrets that some want to hide. Armin found out something important. That's why they want to silence him. Samir felt a cold fear grip his heart. Secrets? Silenced. What did this mean for his family? For his son? He looked at Armin and whispered, "What did you find out?" Armin looked down, afraid to speak. "I overheard a meeting. Some men were planning to steal money from the company. I didn't know what to do, so I tried to hide." Samir's face hardened. "This is serious. We must stop them." The stranger nodded. "You are right, but you must be careful. These men have many friends in powerful places." Samir clenched his fists. "I will protect my family. No one will hurt my son." Mira stepped forward. "We want to help. Tell us what to do." The stranger looked at her, surprised. "You are brave, girl, but this is dangerous." Mira smiled. "We have no choice. We want the truth to come out." The stranger pulled out a small device from his pocket. A phone. "Here is a list of names. These are the people involved. They meet in a secret place tomorrow night. If you want to stop them, you must come." Samir took the phone carefully and looked at the list. There were many names, businessmen, politicians, even some police officers. "This is bigger than I thought," Samir said quietly. The stranger nodded. "Yes, but you have help now. Together you might be able to stop this." Suddenly there was a noise from the bushes. Everyone froze. A group of men appeared, their faces hard and angry. They had come to find Armin. Samir stepped in front of his son. "Leave now, or face the consequences." The leader of the men laughed coldly. "You can't hide forever, Samir. We will get what we want." Mira looked at Samir and whispered, "We have to act fast." Samir nodded. "We will. But first we must get Armin somewhere safe." The stranger took Armin's hand. "Follow me. I know a safe place." Samir looked around. The danger was close. He had to trust the stranger. As they left the riverbank, Samir looked back once more at the quiet water. His heart was full of hope and fear. That night, Samir sat in his dark mansion, his mind racing. Armin was gone, taken by the stranger to a safe place. But the danger was not far away. The list of names from the stranger's phone weighed heavily in Samir's hands. He knew what he had to do. He could not wait. The secret meeting was tonight. The one where the men planned to steal from his company. If Samir did not act, his family's future would be lost. Mira sat beside him, her face serious but full of determination. "We have to stop them, Samir. This is our chance." Samir nodded. "But how? These men have power everywhere." Mira smiled slightly. "Then we must be smarter than them. We need proof to stop them." Samir thought hard. Then an idea came to him. "There is a small camera in the office where they meet. If I can get inside and record their meeting, we will have evidence." Mira's eyes brightened. "That's perfect." Together they prepared a plan. Samir would go to the office disguised, and Mira would wait outside in case he needed help. As the night deepened, Samir left the mansion quietly. The streets were empty and cold. His heart pounded, but he kept calm. He thought about Armin, hoping his son was safe. The office building was tall and dark. Samir found a side door left slightly open, a small mistake by the men. He slipped inside carefully. The hallway was silent. Samir moved slowly, avoiding the security cameras. He reached the meeting room just as the men arrived. One by one, they entered, powerful men in suits laughing and talking quietly. Samir hid behind a wall and took out his phone. He started recording. He listened carefully as the men spoke about stealing millions from the company's funds. They talked about fake papers, secret accounts, and how they would share the money. Samir's anger grew. These men were destroying his family's legacy. Suddenly, his phone slipped from his hand and made a small noise. One of the men stopped talking and looked around. "Did you hear that?" Samir's heart raced. He stayed still, holding his breath. The men started to search the room. Samir slowly backed away, but then a door opened behind him. Mira stepped in quietly. "We're not alone." she whispered. Samir nodded. Together they ran through the building, trying to find a way out. The men shouted and chased them. It was a dangerous game of hide-and-seek. Finally, Samir and Mira reached the rooftop. They looked down. The streets were empty, but the men were closing in. There was only one way down, a ladder leading to a fire escape. Samir climbed quickly, helping Mira behind him. When they reached the ground, they ran as fast as they could into the night. Breathing hard, Samir looked at Mira. "We have the proof. Now we can stop them." Mira smiled, but worry was still in her eyes. "But Armin, is he safe?" Samir's heart ached. "I hope so. We have to find him." Back at the safe place, Armin sat alone, thinking of his father and the danger around him. The stranger who brought him here promised protection, but Armin missed his family. Suddenly the door opened. The stranger entered with a serious look. "It's time," he said. "Tomorrow we must move. They will find you if you stay here." Armin nodded. He knew his journey was not over. The morning sun rose slowly over the city, but Samir's mansion remained silent and tense. The night's events had left him restless. He had proof of the betrayal inside his company, but the biggest worry was still Armin, his lost son, hidden away somewhere, waiting for safety. Samir paced the large hall, trying to think. Mira sat quietly, her eyes full of hope but shadowed by fear. "We need help," she said softly. Samir stopped and looked at her. "Help? Who can we trust? The men we are fighting have power everywhere." Mira nodded. "I know someone, a friend from the past. He used to work for the company but left because he did not agree with the corruption. He's good at finding secrets. He can help us." Samir raised an eyebrow. "Can we trust him?" Mira looked serious. "We have no choice. He hates the thieves as much as we do." Later that day, Mira led Samir to a small, hidden cafe on the city's edge. There, waiting was a man named Riaz, sharp-eyed and calm. His clothes were simple, but there was something in his look that told Samir he was trustworthy. Riaz shook Samir's hand firmly. "I've heard what happened. Your son, the betrayal. This is bigger than anyone thought." Samir nodded. "We have proof, but we need to act fast. The men are dangerous and my son is still missing." Riaz smiled slightly. "I can help find Armin. I have friends who watch the city's secrets. We will find him." Hope filled Samir's heart for the first time in days. "Thank you, Riaz," Mira added. "We cannot waste time. The meeting last night will bring more danger. The thieves will try to stop us." Riaz stood. "Then we must be ready. I will gather information and prepare a plan." Samir, Mira, and Riaz spent the day talking, planning, and sharing what they knew. The feeling of teamwork brought strength to Samir's tired heart, but danger was growing closer. That very evening, in a dark room far from the mansion, the thieves met again. Their leader was angry. "Samir has proof. He is moving against us," one man laughed. "We will find his son and use him as bait." The leader's eyes darkened. "Do whatever it takes. We will crush them." Back in the mansion, Samir did not know about the threat, but he felt it deep inside. Mira and Riaz returned late with news. "We found a place where Armin might be," Riaz said quietly. "It's a safe house near the river." Samir's hands trembled. "Then we must go there at once." That night they moved carefully through the quiet streets. Samir's heart beat faster with every step. When they reached the safe house, it was empty. Armin was gone. Suddenly, a soft noise came from behind a door. They opened it slowly and found Armin, scared but alive. Father and son hugged tightly, tears flowing freely. Mira smiled, relief in her eyes. "You are safe now." But the moment was short. Outside, shadows moved. The thieves had followed them. Samir stood firm. "We will not let you take him again." The battle for Armin's life and the company's future had only just begun. The day. Night was cold and dark as Samir, Mira, Riaz, and Armin prepared for what could be their most dangerous moment. The thieves were close. They knew where Armin was hidden. The family's fight was no longer just about money. It was about survival. Samir looked at his son's face, tired but strong. "We must stand together," he said quietly. "This ends now." Mira nodded. "We have proof and friends. We can expose them." Riaz checked the phone. "The meeting place tonight will be their final move. They will try to silence us once and for all." Samir took a deep breath. "Then we must go there first." Under the cover of night, they moved through the city to the old warehouse where the thieves planned their biggest theft. The streets were empty and silent, but danger was everywhere. Inside the warehouse, the thieves gathered, counting money and making plans. Their leader was confident. He believed no one could stop him. Suddenly, the lights went out. A voice came through a hidden speaker. "This is the police. You are surrounded. Surrender now." The thieves panicked. Samir, Mira, and Riaz watched. From the shadows, the evidence they had collected was enough to bring the police here, but the leader was desperate. He pulled out a gun and shouted, "No one moves!" Arman stepped forward, his voice shaking but loud. "You can't hide the truth anymore." Samir moved quickly to his son's side. Mira and Riaz signaled the police to enter. Gunshots echoed, but the police were ready. The thieves were caught one by one. After the chaos, Samir held Arman close. "You were brave, son." Arman smiled weakly. "I wanted to help. I wanted to make things right." Mira looked around. "The truth is, out now, no more lies." Riaz nodded. "Your family can be safe again." Days later, Samir sat in his office watching the news. The police had arrested the thieves. The corrupt men were exposed. But most important was the look on Arman's face, full of hope and new life. Samir turned to Mira and said, "Thank you. You saved my son. You saved us all." Mira smiled softly. "We saved each other." The long fight was over, but the journey to healing had just begun. The sun was shining bright over the city, but inside Samir's mansion there was a new light. Hope. After the long and painful battle, Samir sat beside Arman in the garden. His son was still healing, but the smile on his face was brighter than ever. The boy who was once lost was now home. Mira joined them, carrying a small box wrapped with care. She sat down quietly. "I brought something for Arman." Arman looked curious. Samir smiled gently. "What is it?" Mira opened the box slowly. Inside was a small, simple ring. "This belonged to my mother, now it's yours." Arman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. I will keep it safe." Samir reached out and held both their hands. "You are family now." The past weeks had changed them all. Samir's company was rebuilding, stronger and honest. The thieves were behind bars, and the police continued to work to clean the city. But the most important thing was the bond between them, a bond formed through pain, trust, and love. One evening, as the stars lit the sky, Samir sat alone in his study. He thought about the journey, the fear, the hope, the fight. He took out a letter from his son's safe place. It was a letter Arman had written while he was away. "Dear Father," it began, "I am sorry for the pain, but I am here now, and I want to help you make things right." Samir smiled, tears in his eyes. He knew the journey was not over, but this was a new beginning. The door opened, and Mira came in. "The future is ours," she said softly. Samir nodded. "Together we can face anything." As they looked out over the city, a gentle breeze whispered through the trees. It carried the promise of hope, healing, and a fresh start. The rich man, who once mourned alone, now had a family, a future, and a new story to tell.